Hi, my name is Emme Magliato. I am a rising sophomore at Yale University studying molecular biology and public health, and I am the local coordinator for assembly for PPE4NYC. PPE4NYC is an organization of a lot of different people. So it was founded by, myself included, a group of college students all across the country. I was feeling really cooped up at home and I really wanted to do something because, I was on spring break and my college said, you can't come back, good luck, enjoy online classes. So I was feeling really stressed and really let down and feeling really lost for what to do. So I reached out to some local organizations like Dutchess Outreach and I started volunteering in their soup kitchen. And I was packing up lunches and a man came up and saw that I was wearing a mask, and at this point not a lot of people were wearing masks. It was like an optional thing, it wasn't mandatory yet. And he looked at me and he was like, any chance you have another mask? And my heart just sank because it was so frustrating to me that I knew that he probably wouldn't have access to a mask, something as simple as a sewn mask that I knew there were a lot of groups that were giving them to hospitals. So I feel in that moment I was like, okay, we can do something that's different and this is what we're gonna do. And so I called Krishna and I was like, it's really good that we're providing for hospitals, but there's so many other people that really need masks. And then 2 weeks later, we delivered 50 masks to Dutchess Outreach so that they could distribute them to not only their volunteers, but also people experiencing homelessness. Something that makes PPE4NYC unique is that you see a lot of groups now that are targeting healthcare workers, which is very important. But what we're also trying to do is focus on essential workers other than healthcare workers, and at-risk populations like people experiencing homelessness, people who are experiencing food insecurity, people who are living with AIDS or HIV. Our goal is really to reach people that you might not think of when you think of COVID-19 pandemic, and making sure that people are being seen and people are being heard and people are being protected. Because also the thing is, the curve is flattening in New York State and in a lot of the East Coast, but throughout the rest of the country, we're seeing still a steady incline in cases. So I think that even if we stopped existing, we are really hoping to reach out to other places so that they can create something similar. Because having that local grassroots uprising of people is really important. So we've been talking to a group in North Carolina and they want to do something similar, and just making sure that we give the resources to do what we've been doing to other people is really important. So just noting every contact that we make that's giving us a donation of plastic, writing it down so that if someone else needs it eventually, they have it. We are making 2 different models of face shields. So one involves a 3D printed visor that just goes into a piece of plastic that's about, it's less than an inch thick. It's really thin. It's 0.007 inches, I believe. And so what you're doing is you just assemble those parts and then you have, voila, a face shield, and it's really cool. You assemble it once you have all the materials in less than 10 seconds if it's done properly. And the other model that we're doing was created by the University of Wisconsin, where you have a piece of plastic, a piece of foam, and a piece of elastic. And you just put all those things together and then you have another face shield. And that one's pretty cool too because it doesn't require any 3D printing, and the 3D printing can kind of be a limiting factor sometimes. And then we are sourcing sewn masks from different sewing groups throughout the state. So we're working with Hudson Valley Sews and Masks for NY. And they've been giving us amazing donations of masks that we've been giving to a lot of at-risk populations. Primarily, we haven't been giving those to hospitals or small businesses really because chances are you have $10 to spare where you could. So we've been trying to give those to the people that really need them. And we've also been sourcing hand sanitizer from local distilleries to give also to at-risk populations and soup kitchens so that it can be distributed. We have a distribution team in New York City of primarily college students or grad students, but the thing about New York City is not a lot of people have cars. So we also partnered with a group called Engines for Change, and they are primarily motorcyclists that have been doing a lot of different things in New York City. So they've been delivering food through their motorcycles and things like that. So when we have smaller packages, we have them distribute it for us, which has been amazing. They're super helpful. And we're also partnering with a couple other groups, hopefully in the future, to make sure that distribution can be pretty fast so that once we have made the supplies, within a couple days, you have it in New York City. Something that's been really cool about PPE4NYC is it keeps me motivated, even though the pressure is a little, like it's a lot, it's a little bit overwhelming, you know, just to have so many people that are kind of counting on us to do our best. And we've had mess ups and we've had little things that have been really frustrating because it's like, why isn't this face shield going together? And then my fingers are hurt. It's just been, there are definitely times where it's been really hard, but I think at the end of the day, the really amazing thing is that there are so many people in this group that are kind of feeling the same thing. And like when I think about that, it's actually really calming because it's like I'm not alone in this and there are so many people that support us and support me. And I think that it would probably be harder for me if I weren't a part of this group because it feels really good to be doing something. And like when I get a sweet email response where it's like, we got our face shields, like, thank you so much, God bless you. Like those kind of emails just like make any of the stress worth it and make me keep going and keep thinking critically about what we're doing and trying to make us an even better group if we can.